For survivors, the fight to recover has been made more difficult by a lack of affordable housing. The Los Angeles City Attorney has filed a $62 million lawsuit accusing a group of landlords of operating an illegal renter property scheme. That City Attorney Hydee Feldstein Soto is here with us live tonight. Welcome back. Good to see you.
It's great to see you. Thank you.
So talk to us about what this lawsuit's all about.
Well, this is not the first lawsuit we've filed, but it is the biggest. And we've brought suit against a group of 4 individuals and 5 entities that they own and control for price gouging. And price gouging is very simple. Price gouging says that when you have a declared state of emergency, no one can raise the price of basic necessities: housing, rental, food, medical services, vet care. You think of the things that you need to live your daily life, and you can't be charged more than 10% above what the price was before the emergency. So we've looked at January 6th prices, and we look at what happens afterwards, and we've received over 1,000 complaints in my office. We've sent out cease and desist letters to hundreds of owners and properties. Most of them comply voluntarily. When they don't, they get a second cease and desist letter. When they don't comply again, they get a subpoena and then a complaint. This one was particularly egregious because it looked to be intentional. The individuals were listing homes under false names, not their own, and they were not only doing price gouging, they were engaging in illegal short-term rentals in violation of the city's short-term rental ordinance.
So $62 million, that's a big price tag there.
A lot of those penalties come from the violations of the short-term rental ordinance rather than price gouging, but we have combined the two, and we're quite serious. People shouldn't be doing this and taking advantage of other people's tragedy.
So are you, obviously you said 1,000 complaints. I mean, how many of those do you think are intentional, are egregious, or are most of them?
I don't know, because it's not always as obvious as listing it under assumed names and then us being able to trace it back to the same address. This one looked intentional. This one looked as if it was blatant, and in not only violating price gouging, but taking that desperately needed affordable housing off our market. They were long-term leasing rent-stabilized units and then renting them out short-term.
So if they don't comply with the cease and desist, eventually, is that a lawsuit from you all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here to tell you we will enforce.
How many of those have you filed so far?
Civilly, we filed 2 really big ones against multiple landlords. Criminally, I think we filed half a dozen.
Wow. Okay, and people can reach out to your office if they think they're a victim of this?
Yes, of course, although the mayor has also set up a special helpline under My 311 LA that I would encourage folks to use, because that gets routed to the right department depending on what kind of complaint it is.
Last time you were here, we talked about this concept of whether there would be mass deportations in the era of the Trump administration. We haven't really seen that in Los Angeles to the degree that some people were fearful that would happen. We have seen some deportations. What are you seeing, and where is the city at on that front?
The last actual numbers that I saw were about mid-February, and they indicated that the deportation numbers in Los Angeles were not dramatically different than they had been the prior year, which was the last year of the Biden administration. I've heard anecdotal reports that they have stepped up somewhat.
So, based off of what you're saying, you don't have any stats to indicate that Trump has launched mass deportations in Los Angeles?
Not in LA.
Not, no. Are there fears about that, and what is the city doing to prepare for that?
Of course there are fears about that. We wouldn't be human beings if, in a city that has such a large immigrant community. Deportation is a federal matter. It is something where we cannot interfere with federal agents doing their job on public property. Policies around immigration and deportation involve pretty complicated legal nuanced issues, but our ordinances are being enforced by us.
And lastly, we hear this report of $1 billion shortfall for the city of Los Angeles budget. Usually that means everybody's got to cut. If you got to do $1 billion, that's a lot of money. Do you know what it's going to happen to your department? You're already having a challenging time in terms of finances. What does this mean for you?
I don't know yet. The mayor's budget will be proposed April 21st, but here's what I will tell you. We have 3 times the amount of work that we had 10 years ago, and I think 10% fewer staff than we did 10. I think that for many years we got by with doing more with less. I have abided by the city's prioritized critical hiring process. Although I've been criticized for it, I'm trying to do my part for the city. I am hopeful that between the vacancies that were swept last year and the belt tightening that we've done and the increased workload we have, my department would not be unduly affected. But I can't tell you anything until the mayor's budget is not only proposed, but then approved by City Council.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard to find, $1 billion.
Remember that what we're doing is we're projecting revenues, and it is a budget. This is not actual cash in the bank and actual expenditures. It's a budget.
Yeah. All right. City Attorney, thanks so much for coming in. We appreciate these check-ins. It's really helpful.
Thank you so much for having me.
Still to come.